Growth hack your brand and then destroy anything that moves.
You need to grind hustle your platform manifest.
It's all about entropy, elegance, and finance. Blockchain.
Invest in real estate every day.
Invest in meal estate every morning.
You need to mind hack the mind shackles that are grabbing your mind. Entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a day. Eat the man who just fished and you'll eat for a lifetime.
Spartans!
Business money hacks.
Our arrows will blot out the sun.
Hello, welcome to Business Money Hacks. My name is Dustin Taylor Hahn.
And I'm Bridge Stuart.
I want to start this podcast off by sort of explaining who we are and why we're doing this. Why should we be giving our secrets away, essentially? We're very successful.
It really is imparting our potential that we've definitely maximized.
Right.
And being able to utilize that into a streaming form that other people can ingest cognitively and be able to utilize themselves.
Dustin Taylor, you've obviously seen me on TED Talks. I'm best friends with Elon Musk. Well, I used to be before the acid attack, and I am actually a little bit older than you think.
Oh, wow.
That's the creams, and
the cream.
There's a lot of bloodletting involved. We don't need to get into
the whole bloodletting.
The ceremonies that can come later.
Yeah.
Essentially, I live in this compound here in New Zealand. Used to be from New Orleans, and then I moved it with helicopters into New Zealand. We're in my compound right now. Bridge is welcome. He's my confidant.
I have access.
You have the gold card.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and I'm Bridge Stuart. I've been involved heavily in tech for the past 15 years. So, yeah, I'm invested in all the big five. The big five tech companies. You know what they are.
Google.
Amazon. LinkedIn. And soft. It's they create extra soft software, and that's really going to be driving things. I've been involved in tech for the last 15 years, mostly in very hostile banking in regards to investment. Very
you were saying that
investment.
You watched the movie Boiler Room.
Yeah, I wanted to be the Vin Diesel of software, and that's where I am. I mean, I both make a lot of money and I work out.
Well, it's important to keep your body fit, and that kind of brings me to what I do as opposed to technology. As I do invest in your companies, but I'm more interested in people and what you can do with the human mind, the human brain. Some people are not really going to make it. They're not going to reach their full maximized potential. It's a shame. Why should the brain matter go to waste? And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Kicking off with this first episode, we've decided to, basically give a rundown. What we thought would be appropriate is preparing to begin. You have to start somewhere, and that's where we want to start, is at the start. There's a lot of things that you need to learn. There's a lot of things that you need to prepare in order to begin. And it's scary. The key is to understand the fear. Wrap your brain around fear and live inside of fear. I grew up in the sewer. I was raised in Connecticut, but I spent a solid 3 weeks in the sewer of New York when I moved there, collecting various items. I was doing photography at the time. I was taking pictures of things in the sewer that I'd find. And at a certain point, I was walking around the raw feces, and this rat tried to take a sandwich that I had. I was hungry. I was real hungry, and here's this rat trying to take a sandwich away from me. The rat got the sandwich and ran into one of its rat holes, which they built. And that's when I looked at myself and I'm like, man, what's going on here? I'm in a sewer. And that's when I had to climb right out. And it was scary climbing out of the sewer for me. You don't start any lower than the sewer. Again, I was raised in Connecticut, but
Yeah, your family, you were
they
prominent members of the Connecticut state.
the state traders. They trade a lot out of Connecticut, deep shipping. And but when I moved to New York, I started from the bottom, below the bottom. I really learned to look fear in the face in those dark tunnels.
Look fear in the face and shoot it in the face.
Grab it by the neck and strangle it. Strangle fear is what I say.
When I was younger, I had no idea how I was going to live up to my father's potential. There were beatings. But right now I want to talk about overhead, an overhead in your life. There's a lot of people that will hold you back. I mean, you've met people in your life that have said no to you, and you got to streamline your life.
You got to minimize is the key. You have to minimize your life. Watch too much TV, cut it out. Maybe you have a friend that's always coming over and wants to talk about things or something.
Yes.
Be social, interact with a person, connect with the person.
Talk about your feelings with the person.
Yeah.
Have relationships.
That's a time suck. Slice that right out. Just take the razor blade and cut that right out.
I fell in love with my high school sweetheart. We got married very early. She wanted to start having children. We had one.
You had a child.
And that's as far as we went.
And I'm so
you
glad.
go out on a few dates. That's good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm so glad that you cut.
You date her for several years, 7 years. You get married. You have a kid. Maybe you have another kid. You buy a house.
Yeah.
At that point, you have to say, "Hey, I don't want to lead you on."
Yeah, kids are great. Kids are so much fun. It's great. Kids are fun. Disneyland is fun. I'm not going to Disneyland every day. I'm trying to make money. I'm proud. I mean, you should be proud of yourself in that regard.
I am proud, and there are nights wake up 3 a.m. where I'm screaming and yelling out into the black void and saying, "What am I doing? What am I doing? Why did I do this? Who am I?" Being a man, being a real man, a man's man, a grizzled, grizzly man, is leaving your family and becoming successful.
It is. It's a beautiful thing starting a family. It is a beautiful thing leaving a family.
I feel like there's a black stone sitting behind my heart at all moments of the day.
Well, it's interesting because I've sort of feel that as well, and it's almost like that stone hardens and becomes, and it like spreads out and
into a suit.
Yeah, it's like
sort of a stone suit.
It's like a giant suit. Like it's almost like inside me, I feel like a robot. You know, I just feel like a cold steel robot, and it's after a while it starts feeling good. You cherish that cold comfort of steel and metal.
That also brings into what you're trying to do with your life is essentially become a cyborg in a certain sense, or
in a certain sense, in a metaphorical sense, an emotional sense, to a degree, a physical sense, with some of the technology that's going on in emerging tech sectors.
I commend you for wanting to become a technical robot, a man who is not a man. Eventually, is a postman.
That's the goal. Is to be the postman, an American postman.
I like to imagine that 100 years in the future, you become what you want to be. A robot man, a cyborg man, a man who lives beyond his fleshy days, and I'm some sort of biological creature.
You're like a floating vat filled with various cerebrums, floating around using drone technology. just hovering around the eastern seaboard.
It makes me so happy to think you and I would be walking around the post-apocalyptic wasteland that is the world. You and your robot body, and me, a floating brain. Perhaps you're holding the floating brain like a balloon.
Yeah. Amongst a dire nuclear backdrop.
This is our dream, and we want to give you this dream as well.
And that's, to a degree, what this podcast is about. We hope to pass this beautiful vision.
I wish to shred my body and become something more. Next episode, we have a great man.
Our great friend, Trainer Stevens. He's a guy who's deeply involved in agricultural innovations.
Right. When all the food runs out, what do we do?
That's a question I think everybody wants to know. And it's going to be happening fast. Very, very fast. So thanks for listening to this podcast. Stay tuned for newer episodes. This has been a great beginning, I think. We're ending right now, but this is the beginning of the end, as Churchill said.
Your women will be slaves.